So coming out of strategic planning, we really use the standards as well as that strategic plan to guide the work that we've done. And I want to give you a brief overview of where we've come, because I can honestly tell you, of all of those schools that I shepherd through this process, I know I'm biased, Nipmuc Regional has made more progress than any of the schools I've seen in my commission work over the course of a short period of time. So it began, the first challenge I had taking over the principalship from an AP was working with the faculty to develop our core values and beliefs about learning. We voted on our values and we created our beliefs about learning. The danger you have in doing that is getting a cookie cutter set of values that looks the same from one school to the next. In a few moments, Marianne's going to walk you through our preparation and show you where to find our values. I encourage you to look at them and read this document. It's not dry. I know I'm biased again, but they're beautiful. They encompass everything that happens in this building. Our faculty took these values and incorporated what we do every day and articulated beliefs that drive everything we do. We've been able to put them into use in all of our initiative work. We voted on and accepted 21st century learning expectations, which is another layer of learning here at Nipmuc beyond content. I think high schools face the challenge of making sure that they are relevant and giving kids that competitive advantage that we've identified as a key aspect of teaching and learning in this district. So our expectations are communication, problem solving, using technology, being able to collaborate, showing adaptability, and having civic engagement. Adding those skills on top of our current curriculum has allowed us to make sure our kids are college ready and career ready. We make sure that they are ready, and I'm going to move quickly through this if I can, so I'll speed up a little bit. We've developed a series of school-wide analytic rubrics, which means that we can measure a student's ability in a skill area as a freshman, as a sophomore, all the way to senior year in an English department, in a math department, in a PE department, and have a consistent way of grading their progress, tracking their progress over time, and making sure when we see pure growth, true growth, it is pure growth, and not necessarily just one teacher using a rubric differently than another teacher. That's exciting for us. Curriculum, the work that Maureen Cohen has initiated and handed off to our department chairs and our faculty has been wonderful. We talk about Rubicon Atlas a lot. That's really just the tool. The real work of curriculum is getting teachers to talk about what's teaching and learning, what essential questions are, having in a common format so that Nipmuc teachers can work with MISCO teachers who can work with teachers from the elementary school, and developing this K through 12 vision of what our teaching and learning is all about in this district. We developed an advisory program, again an accreditation requirement that we never talked about as an accreditation requirement. We really believe that it's important that our kids have meaningful connections with adult members of the school community. So our teachers have been wonderful. They designed this curriculum collaboratively through common planning time. And every week for half an hour, we meet with our same students. I have a sophomore group. I'll be with them until they graduate. I'll get to know them well. I think I wrote letters of recommendation for every single one of my seniors who graduated last year in my advisory group. And it's things like financial literacy. Seniors will learn how to change a tire on a car, but also it's goal setting, applying for college. Pieces that wouldn't naturally fit into an English curriculum or a history curriculum added that extra value to what we're teaching and learning. Schedule change. One of the first things we talked about when Joe came aboard was getting class sizes down. He talks all the time about when we first made classroom visits, he'd be perched on a heater, I'd be hanging out in the doorway, 33, 35 kids in a class. It just wasn't feasible for teaching and learning. We've been able, through the schedule change, to get our classes roughly around 20 to 22 workable. It took a lot of effort on our teachers to adjust the curriculum to get it to the point where it could fit in that new schedule, but they've done a great job with it. Heterogeneously grouped classes, so making sure that there's not a huge disparity between an AP, quote-unquote, student and a student in college post-secondary. We need learning to be rigorous for all kids, and that means that they all should be together in the same environment, learning together, and recognizing each other's strengths. So we've been able to implement 4 half-year courses that immediately address the heterogeneity that's part of the NEAC standards. And again, we talked about this initiative as far as what's best for kids, not what's best for accreditation. I mean, if you believe in the standards, you can get work done without making it feel like it's a burden, and we've been able to do that. We have common planning time now, which we did not have 4 years ago. It went from small groups of teachers in interdisciplinary format to now every teacher within his or her department has 1 session per cycle where they're able to meet, go over curriculum work, plan assessments, talk about issues related to teaching and learning, and it's that embedded time within their day, expanding PD from 3 or 4 times a year to a regular, predictable weekly cycle. PD, rather than an administrator in the office planning it by his or herself, with the feedback from the faculty who has stepped up and joined the committee, chaired with administrators and teachers who are willing to help make the PD planning meaningful, teacher-driven, practical, and really what is responsive to what teachers' needs are. Huge improvement for us. Technology. You come to this one, we're like on number 8 or 9. This could be an initiative that a school district will devote all of 3 or 4 years to. We've gone one-to-one, and our teachers have done a phenomenal job. Last year, we provided teachers with a professional practice goal, which challenged them to use a different technology strategy on a monthly basis. So every month they would try something new, embed it into their practice, put that tool in their pocket, and know that they had it at any time they needed to use it moving forward. 75% of our faculty took on that goal, and the vast majority doubled the output. So it wasn't a monthly goal. They were far exceeding that. We reached the point at the end of the year where we were able to open up a session and invite schools from across Massachusetts into this very room for a panel presentation, a chance to meet with students, and a chance to tour classrooms to say, this is the power of one-to-one learning. In a very short time, our faculty has taken this initiative from the beginning, the visioning stages, to a point where I feel like we were a model school, and I'm excited for the Ed Camp, and I'm excited to offer some quarterly tech offerings where we establish ourselves as a leader in technology integration in the state of Massachusetts. Educator evaluation, we've gone through the process of learning what this looks like and being able to capitalize on these changes in order to make improvements. Our teachers' SMART goals are impressive, diverse, challenging, and at the heart of what their teaching is all about. I've heard about schools that take this on and consider it a burden. Nipmuc teachers have not done that. They've looked for ways to collaborate as their department to move big pieces of our educational programming forward. And it's been a huge help for us. Also, Marianne and I are in the classrooms more often, able to give regular feedback and short snippets. The year before we took this on, I think we made a combined total of 560 visits to classes, getting ready for that. Over the course of the past 2 years, we've been making visits that average about 15 minutes, giving teachers practical feedback. And most importantly, hearing back from them as well about what their priorities are in instruction, and creating a dialogue about teaching and learning that simply wasn't there before. We've increased communication. It was an emphasis coming out of our strategic plan that we needed to do a better job with that. So some of you may follow my blog or may follow us on Twitter or may get the BBC emails that come home, but we've tried to find parents where they are at and find students where they are at. So change the way we communicate so that we have a more frequent, reliable presence. We've also worked on branding. You'll see our logo, you see the one-to-one logo, you see our 21st Century Learning Center logo in certain spots. We believe firmly that we're doing something special here, and we want to put the brand on it so that when people see it, they know it's a Nipmuc product. Collaboration. We've developed the Nipmuc Together program where we have parents who just stepped up and said, John, you don't have a PTO, let's give you one. So Colette Wickstrom and Amani Jayosi and Heather Applegate began Nipmuc Together, which is a PTO 2.0. It's not your mom's PTO. They are working to celebrate our kids, run teacher appreciation events, collaborate in things like NEASC and other school initiatives. It's been a wonderful help for us, and it's been a regeneration of family partnerships that was missing here for quite some time. We also began our STEM advisory board. Keep going, Marianne. And I'll come back to that in just a minute. Our AP program has definitely been an emphasis for us, and it's one of those things you can quantify in some of these numbers. 71% increase in AP students, more than 100% increase in the number of exams, 52% increase in students with qualifying scores, and doubled our AP offerings. We've changed what it means to be a high achiever here at the school through AP courses. 67% of our kids, of our seniors last year, took an AP course while they were in the school. I love that stat. I love it because it means they're asking for challenging courses, they're succeeding with challenging courses, and in their first year as a freshman at a college or university, we sent 90% to a 2 or 4 year college. They have that under their belt. That confidence, that preparation, the knowledge that they need to be successful. Moving forward, we've also added an emphasis on college, career, and community readiness. Our kids were telling us that the internships they received were some of the most meaningful parts of their teaching and learning at Nipmuc, and it was not a core part of what we were doing. We've changed that. We've developed programs like the STEM Scholars Program, which is entering year 3. Began as a grant-funded program through the Blackstone Valley Ed Foundation with $2,500, and now has become one of our marquee programs, where last year we had over 100 students participating, getting a foundation with rigorous academics, workplace readiness, meaningful connections to a college, meaning working with a professor or stepping on the campus to experience programming, and then connections to careers, so career fairs and career shadowing opportunities, expanding their horizons about what they can do beyond the walls of the school. We will take that model, and you see some brainstorming behind me on this board over here. Our faculty is in the process of building our humanities program on those 3 pillars of career, college, and community readiness. We are changing the way we do business to give our kids that competitive advantage in the pre-psych development. We've developed a 21st Century Learning Center here, and bringing Beth Hennessy aboard. Beth has brought a wealth of experience. She's recognized at the state level for career programming, and she's helped us to create this career center to help to get some of our kids, and I said this the other day in a meeting with Joe, you know, we have 90% of our kids going off to 2- or 4-year colleges. That's a great number, but I'd like to see it accurately represent what our kids are looking for. And I think maybe not all 90% want to go to a 2- or 4-year college. Maybe they want to get the employability skills, and we just haven't been providing that experience. So I'm going to be okay if that number drops as long as we are replacing it with placement. I would love to see our kids getting a graduation diploma on a Friday, walking into a workplace on a Monday. And we can give them those skills here through our 21st Century Learning Center. We're also on November 9th offering our first 21st Century Learning Conference. We'll be announcing that this week, having kids come looking like Chris does right now. You always look so good at these meetings, Chris. Dressed for success, ready like a professional to walk in and receive training from 30 to 40 professional partners who are coming from across the state, but also nationally, flying in to give our kids sessions on workplace readiness, interviewing, doing what you love, understanding how to get certified for jobs you want to be a part of. It's a full program offered to our kids, beginning with freshmen all the way through seniors. Special offerings for kids in the STEM and Humanities program that is directly emphasizing workplace and career readiness. It's a huge complement to the content preparation and skill preparation we already give them. I'm at the end. That's 4 years, folks. When I talk, I'm being legitimate and being honest with you when I tell you this is the distance our faculty has taken our school in 4 years. They deserve a huge amount of credit. Never do I get, no, John, we can't. Never do I get the one more thing. Never do I get frustrated size. I give a challenge, they step up, and they've been phenomenal. And I really feel like our school is reaching new peaks every single year, which is why it's perfect timing to have an ES come in. So, you know, I've had I've chaired 8 of these visits, been on 10. How many have you chaired, Joe?
Too many. I need to get alive.
Too many. I didn't want to say it. You said. So the process is that chairperson brings 15 educators into your community for 4 days. During those 4 days, they will meet with every constituent group. They'll have a chance to meet with the school committee, they'll shadow students, they'll meet with teachers, have a chance to meet with a parent group. And it's a chance for us to do just what I did, celebrate the progress we've made over the course of the past 4 years. But more than that, it's a chance for us to get some feedback on how to improve and get better. I am confident, I am proud, but I am not overconfident. I'm not coming into this saying that, boy, we're going to show this team what they need to take back to their schools. I believe firmly in the process of peer review and having